absolute values. We're going to do this in two parts. One part today, one part on Monday. Today we're going to deal with equations. Monday we're going to deal with inequalities. So we're kind of jumping back to equations today as we're going this. Now, as you think about this, what did this symbol mean? Do you remember? Absolute value. What does absolute value mean? Think about the definition of it. Do you remember? What is absolute value? Caroline?
How far away the number is from zero.
Okay, so absolute value is the distance away from zero. So, here's 0. And it says the absolute value is 3. Where can I go, what can I point at that's 3 away from 0? Kyle?
-3 or 3.
I can point to -3 or 3. All right, so Kyle's got the basic premise that there's not just one answer here. How many answers are there? There's 2, because you can either go to the right or you can go to the left. And so what you're going to do on this is you're going to take the problem and you're going to break it up into a positive side or a negative side. And so we're going to have an answer that has 2 parts. Now I want to teach you a new way to write our answers. We're going to write our answers in what is called set notation. Have you ever seen these brackets? It's kind of used as a set of numbers. And what it is it's just called set notation. And when you write set notation, you write the number that's the smallest one on the left, -3, and then the largest one on the right. So that's called set notation. So the answers, John, basically are -3 and 3. It's a shorter way to write than x equals 3 or x equals -3. Now, once again, let's go back up to the top. Definition of absolute value is the distance away from 0. Look at example 2. From 0, what numbers are -4 units away? Zach's doing this. Zach's shaking his head no. Talk to me, Zach. What are you saying? Okay. Distance can't be negative, so what's your point? There's no solution. Are you sure? You're willing to stand on that? There's no solution. All right. Zach says distance cannot be negative. Do you all agree with that fact? Does not absolute value mean distance? So am I not asking you for what points is the distance equal to a negative number? So I agree with his solution. No solution. Do you remember the shortcut symbol for that? Anybody? Close. It does have a line through it. John? The circle with a line through it. You got it. Between the two of you, we got it. Good job. Nice pickup, Zach. Star for the day. You get M&Ms later. All right, moving down. 2 absolute value equals 16. What you're going to do first, before you break it into my 2 parts, Jalon, is I'm going to take it and I'm going to solve for absolute value. So how do I get the absolute value by itself? I divide both sides by 2. That gives me absolute value equals 8. And now I'm back to example 1. Go to the number 0 on the number line and say what numbers are 8 units away? 8 and -8. So that's my answer. Let's write it as a solution set. Do you remember which one comes first? The negative comes first. So far so good? Is this pretty straightforward? All right. Is the absolute value by itself in example 4? Obviously not. What do you do? Add 2. So everyone put a plus 2 plus 2. Absolute value equals 5. Is the absolute value now by itself? So my answer is m equals -5 or m equals 5. So I write this with solution set notation, -5, comma 5. Looking down, I'm just trying to kind of add difficulty with each problem. Who can isolate the absolute value on this next one for me? Where do I start? What's that? Don't need to in this case. Add 9, okay, I like that. So 21 equals 3 absolute value x. Haley, you had your hand up. Can you give me the next step? Good. So 7 equals absolute value x. Is the absolute value now by itself? So now is when you split it. You don't split it before it, you split it right when the absolute value is by itself. So x equals -7 or x equals +7. So write your answer as a solution in solution set notation. Now I've got to apologize right now. If you look one page past on page 35, you're going to see that my TA did not use solution set notation, and I apologize for that. So, all right, example 6. Who can walk me through it? Go ahead. Good, Brittany? What am I saying, Brittany? Sorry, Taylor. All right, 6. Divide by 2, you said. That gives you 3. So my two answers are y equals what? -3, or y equals +3. And then write your answer in correct order. When do you split it into 2 parts? Basic idea. When? At what point did we split it? What was the characteristic sign? The absolute value was what? All by itself. All right? Okay.